Coming up on this edition of the Glendale Insider.
Mayor Wires actually had a proclamation for the city for a whole week dedicated to the National Guard and Reserve. That's a testament to how much that the city cares about its soldiers.
We're grateful to Two Share Gift Foundation to provide 6 great vests for our dogs. It's going to give them protection out there on the street that they need.
The positive economic impact of light rail and the investment that the people of this community have made in light rail is paying massive dividends now and for decades to come.
Flashover is a very serious and dangerous phenomenon that we experience. Basically, it's when all the contents in the room reach their ignitable temperatures and the whole room just flashes, and it's very deadly to both the occupants and the firefighters.
These stories and more as we take you inside Glendale on the Glendale Insider.
Why I wear this uniform is 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year roughly. I'm a logistics officer in the Arizona Army National Guard.
For the Utah Army National Guard, I'm a field artillery officer.
With the military, I am assigned to a training unit. I train other Navy police forces.
About 70 or a little?
I would say about 67 that are veterans.
Okay.
And then 9 that are currently serving.
This started back when I was attending the academy. They actually allowed me to graduate the academy a week early so I can go on a deployment to Iraq in 2007. Once I was in Iraq, I didn't know anybody at the police department except some of the people in hiring. I started receiving care packages from them early on and receiving emails from people at the department that I didn't even know.
I noticed that many of our deployed members were going away, and we weren't hearing from them until they came back. And that really bothered me. I wanted to make sure that they had support, for their families and support for themselves while they were in the war zone. So about 2007, we started doing a military support.
It means everything. My family I know is going to be taken care of while I'm away. That's our primary concern while we're away is what our family's doing and how they're doing. It's very comforting knowing that I know that the city of Glendale, the police department is going to be there at home, helping my family, contacting them regularly, being that liaison and the helping hand that my wife and my kids would need while I'm away.
This wasn't something that we as a city went to them and said, hey, would you nominate us? They did it on their own, recognizing the city as a great employer and somebody that really cares about them and wants to make their life better. So what a great recognition. I mean, I can tell you I got the hair standing on my neck right now just thinking about it. It's something that I hope that everybody that's a citizen of Glendale and even across the state of Arizona understand that we did something really phenomenal here.
I think one of the greatest things that they did is Mayor Wires actually had a proclamation for the city for a whole week dedicated to the National Guard and Reserve. That's a testament to how much that the city cares about its soldiers.
One of the components that our Reserve and Guard members that nominated us for this award specifically mentioned was our Spouse Academy, and that is a program that spouses of any police department employee are invited, and it's not just spouses, it's family members, that spends 3 Saturdays with us to learn about the job, to learn about the exciting parts of the job, but also the more demanding parts of the job, and so that they have a better context by which they can support their family member that's in this profession.
It was huge. I mean, you talk about the Spouse Academy that the organization put together. And my wife loves my job. I think she loves it just a little bit more than I do.
My wife, she's so happy that I work for a city that is so caring towards its servicemen and women. I know that when I was gone in 2011 over to Iraq, she actually went to the Spouse Academy. She had a lot of fun. She got to network with other wives. So, as she gets to network and be taken care of while she's here, that's just one less thing for me to worry about.
Whether you've got somebody reporting to work here and serving our community as a City of Glendale employee, or whether they're serving our country, protecting our freedoms overseas or somewhere else in a military capacity, that they're still family members, and we still want to look out for them and help them focus on what they need to do in that assignment by not having to worry about any of their employment benefits, any of their pay issues, or most of all, any of their family members that are still here.
The city of Glendale is beyond deserving. They've been deserving it for years. It's just a tip of our hat to them, finally recognizing them for all the hard work and dedication that they've given us.
The city of Glendale just goes above and beyond what's required by law. So I've been thrilled to be working here for the last 8 years.
Look at this as tribal gaming in action and seeing how tribes are able to utilize what we could call 12% funding as part of what our casino generates, and we're able to use part of that funding to help in different areas. And you know, when we looked at the application, we really felt that this was something that we needed to help, because we really appreciate the relationship that we have with the city of Glendale.
We made a request to the Salt River Pima Indian community a couple years ago when I realized that some of our engines are wearing out. And when you start looking at the total cost of these, I mean, they're pushing $500,000.
The truck that we brought in today is replacing an older model. It's about 12 years old, has 168,000 miles on it. It runs about 3,500 calls a year. Now there's 2 trucks in this station, and so they're both running over 3,000 calls a year, so it's a very active area.
The older trucks require more maintenance, more cost, and the last thing we'd ever want to do is have these guys take off to a call and have that truck break down before they get there, and that delay of time to get to a citizen in need, if it's a medical emergency or fire or crash or whatever. It's neat to have it, it's pretty to look at, it's quiet, and it's got all the bells and whistles and sirens. But it's also something that will help save lives, and that's the thing that we need to keep remembering. It is a life-saving tool.
We're here today with Two Share Gift Foundation. They're here presenting us with a check to purchase 6 vests for Glendale Police Department K-9 unit.
It's with great pride that we present this check for $15,000 to the City of Glendale Police Department K-9 unit so that we can have these vests on these babies. It's been exactly 3 years ago that we opened the foundation, and we decided that we would open a gift shop as an extension of the foundation to try and raise money for our mission, which is to help animals and children affected by the economic downturn.
These 2 folks right here actually donated money to buy some of the vests, and I mean, you know, everybody's always talking about heroes. It takes people like this.
It was all worth it. These dogs, Mick, Ado, Spike, Mongo, and Malachi, they're all worth it. And I don't want to see any of them get hurt.
I'd like to say we're grateful to Two Share Gift Foundation for this long 1.5-year process of them able to raise this much money to provide 6 great vests for our dogs. That's going to give them protection out there on the street that they need.
I'm going to miss the fire department. You know, it's a family, so it's going to be a huge void in my life.
This says, Patty Patches Fry, in recognition of your years of dedicated service to the Glendale Fire Department Safety Clown Troop. Bump a nose.
It's kind of surreal. I don't feel, you know, 30 years, you don't think you think that's a long time. And there's a lot of people that try to get on this job, and I feel blessed that I was one of the people that was able to get hired. Otherwise, it's golf and pickleball. That's my future. And maybe going out on a road trip here and there. So thank you guys for coming. I truly appreciate it. And it's not goodbye, it's just see you later. So, thank you. For all the mentors that I had as a firefighter and as a captain, I've got to say that they were probably instrumental in helping me get to the fire chiefs, the chief ranks.
We'll always think about you, Patty, and I know we'll see you again in many of these retirement functions, so you have a good time.
On behalf of the Glendale Fire Department, the City of Glendale, we just want to say thank you to Chief Patty Fry for 30 years of service.
I got this vast interest of learning how to play pickleball. So I got my racket, I got the balls, I'm ready to go.
Well, in Glendale right now, we're having our international convention.
And stand up if you're from outside the continental United States.
I got bit by that bug that I'm sure everyone in this room has gotten bit by. And over the years, my collection has continually grown. I think I'm about 55 machines right now, I think.
I want you to know I have this entire set of cars, okay?
Oh, do you?
Except this one.
Oh,
I just called my son to confirm, okay?
That'll be done.
And it's pretty cool that you have it.
The idea is that it brings you back to the best of times. So when you think about when you had a Coke as a kid or as you're growing up, it was always at a wonderful time, a pleasurable time.
Every year we get all of the collectors together in one city. We try to spread it out throughout the country. And this year is our 42nd annual convention here in Glendale, Arizona.
78.
Well, basically we take over the hotel. And that's what we do every year, and that's one of the reasons we come 4th of July. Hotels need business. We get better rates. It works out for everybody.
Here's your receipt. Thank you.
It's interesting because over Westgate, a lot of the businesses have said they would have given people time off before 4th of July, and they're bringing them in now because we're coming in. So right now we have just about 600 people checked into the hotel. We will take over the hotel, and that's pretty much what we do every year.
Tourism is essential to our economic development throughout the city of Glendale, and when you have a convention like Coca-Cola coming in, not only they're spending time at the hotel and the meeting space, but they're exploring not only the entire city of Glendale and all of our great shopping and dining, but they're exploring the state as well.
How much are the yo-yos?
Now, for what happens is we buy, sell, and trade Coca-Cola. And it's kind of interesting. It's why we have to take over a hotel. As you can see the room around me, we fill the rooms with Coca-Cola memorabilia, both new and old.
You guys take credit cards?
It has been wonderful, actually. The location here has been absolutely perfect. We have our Westgate shopping center next to us, let's say 22 bars and restaurants. We can hit a different place every night and never walk more than a few feet from the hotel. The other side, we have the outlet mall we've all hit. Everything's available, and everyone has been really nice to us. The hotel's been great. Everyone in town has been wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks,
All right, thank you.
Welcome to the Glendale Police Photographic Art Display Unveiling.
Speaking on behalf of the Arts Commission, I just wanted to say that we are proud to have been able to fund this particular project, which I can't wait to see because I know it's going to be great. I've seen Ronnie's work. She does excellent work.
2, 1. And oh, another clip.
This exceeds any expectation I had of how beautiful the pieces look in this space with this lighting. And I think the exciting thing is that, for the people that work here and all of the people that come here from all over the state, actually all over the country to train here, and then those that visit here for various public meetings are going to get to enjoy this and see the beauty of the art, but also appreciate the work of the men and women that are depicted in these images.
It gives me a chance to know that I am forever saying thank you to the men and women of Glendale Police Department and Glendale Fire Department for the work that they do every day keeping our communities safe.
I am so incredibly proud of the courageous work that the men and women of the Glendale Police Department and Glendale Fire Department do on a daily basis. That their talent and their skill and their professionalism can be used as a subject of an artist to create this area is just really exciting. Not possible without the support of the Arts Commission, and I'm internally indebted to them for their support.
And really, only those of us that have hands-on help with them get to hear that story and watch that healing.
It's unprecedented in law enforcement, and especially with victims of sexual assault. This isn't something that's commonly done, where they're actually sitting in front of you telling their stories. Let's get the program started. What is a sexual assault? There's kind of a misconception of what it is and what it isn't.
We hear things like, well, she shouldn't have been wearing that outfit. She shouldn't have been wearing that type of clothing, or this wouldn't have happened to her.
And the challenge today is going to be for you to be honest with yourself. We're going to bring forward, these three women are going to tell you about that ugly day in raw detail.
2 is for 2 18-year-old boys who assaulted me in the same night. 22 is for May 22nd, 2010, when it happened. 5 is for the amount of people who witnessed this event and did absolutely nothing to stop it. And 64 for the amount of bruises that were on my body of bite marks from the 2 of them.
I would cut myself, and I used to think, like, why would people ever do that? I used to always think that, like, why would people do that? How could they do that to themselves? It felt really like a relief. Oh, I felt better than to feel this pain all inside.
A lot of times we have this preconceived notion of a sexual assault as the stranger that jumps out of the bush, or the guy that breaks in the door and throws somebody down in the bedroom or something like that. Those cases are very rare.
During the course of that night, he made a flippant comment that before the end of this night, you're gonna hate me. And I walked out of the bathroom and he was standing there and he told me to take my clothes off.
We want to encourage appropriate responses, and we want to encourage people to react by believing and not blaming or questioning.
I know I'm guilty of it often, is being just very rigid and lacking the compassion, even though you feel bad for them, but you're so focused on getting the information for the report.
Our goal with the project is to change that culture, and to change the way that people respond to these types of crimes, and to actually start by believing, because these things happen.
We would hope is in your heart is that you start by believing, whether you have skepticism or not, but that you relate to that person that you do believe them and that you're so sorry that it happened.
We want to thank the survivors who joined us, courageously coming forward to tell their story. They have such courage and they're such inspiration, and they're making a difference in our department. If you have any questions or you'd like to know more about this training, please contact the Glendale Police Department.
About a year ago, Gina gave us a tour of the forensics department, and it was noted at the time that they were working on these low desks trying to do their work, and it just seemed like it was really hard. So we decided to turn it into a fundraising idea. And what we did, one of our members here, Mr. Ray Strahl, he held a car show, raised several $1,000s at that. We did a few other small fundraisers throughout the year, and we raised just exactly the money we needed to get these 2 chairs and this big drafting table with all the drawers in it.
What it is so I can compare one print to the other. With this, I was using big, huge, like telephone books prior to this as ways to compare. With this purchased from the Alumni Association, I've been able to come over here, less strain on the back, with a great magnifier and the light. I'm able to do the comparison here. It's invaluable. We're able to get answers to victims that don't have answers. They don't know who did this homicide on their family member. We're able to, with this, obtain identifications, or what we call hits. Now, I just really appreciate them doing the car show and then being able to obtain this equipment for us. Not only did they obtain the equipment, they helped us build it and get it built up, so we were doing it.
When you have a wonderful organization like the Citizen Police Academy alumni group that are willing to go out and raise the funds, I want to thank every one of you. Thank you for coming out this afternoon.
Our whole purpose is to do anything we can to make their lives easier. To them, it's comfort, it's ease of use, and it just makes their lives a little easier. And that's, if you want to put our mission statement in a nutshell, that's what it is. We try to make their lives a little easier.
We're here at 43rd and Peoria at Target. Target's been gracious enough to allow us to come out here and kind of set up shop. It's back to school. We're helping kids in need succeeds, kind of our slogan right now. And basically we're taking donations in the form of cash or any kind of school supply donations.
How you guys doing? We're doing a back-to-school charity event right now, collecting some school supplies for kids here in Glendale.
We have a list: paper, pencils, notebooks, things of that nature, erasers, the school boxes where all the supplies go into.
Thank you very much. Did you get a sticker yet? You got one? Okay.
And we're making sure that kids within the city of Glendale have school supplies. And these are for kids that are in need and less fortunate.
Well, you can climb up in there.
You wanna check it out?
You know, it's Glendale Fire Charities giving back to the community, and we really appreciate the community support by coming out and giving us their donations. So thank you very much.
Got a little pencil case.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
Today we're at DeSoto Market, and this is on Central Avenue in Phoenix. We are releasing the new data to show what kind of growth there has been in development near the light rail.
Light rail is of regional significance, so something that happens in downtown Phoenix affects downtown Tempe. Something that happens in downtown Tempe affects downtown Mesa, affects Chandler, affects Scottsdale, and the West Valley.
And it turns out the estimates that we've been using up to this point have understated the value of light rail, have understated the incredible economic impact, positive economic impact to our city and region from light rail. I'm going to unveil the new number right now. Let's get a drum roll. 8.2 billion built and in construction. Almost 350 million planned right now, but the number of built and in construction, 8.2 billion. The positive economic impact of light rail and the investment that the people of this community have made in light rail is paying massive dividends now and for decades to come.
Numbers we heard today are much more encouraging than what we had heard before. The 8.2 billion invested compared to the 1.2 billion used to spend on the original 20 miles. For Glendale, that just gives us more, another good example of what can occur down Glendale Avenue and through our historic area.
Light rail is a viable investment in our community. When we put down tracks, development occurs because we know it's permanent. So we're really enjoying the benefits of having this light rail system here in Phoenix and look forward to future growth.
Feel like you're having burn or something doesn't feel right, let us know, get out.
So the recruits just last week had their first introduction to live fire training exercise. It's called Intro to Heat, where they were exposed to a superheated environment inside of a training facility. And today is the flashover chamber. So flashover is a very serious and dangerous phenomenon that we experience in today's residential house fire or any kind of structure for that matter. Basically, it's when all the contents in the room reach their ignitable temperatures and the whole room just flashes, and it's very deadly to both the occupants and the firefighters. They sit inside the burn box. As the fire heats up and the gases rise, it starts to bank down from the ceiling, and in that are different layers of heat and what we call thermal layering. Now, if you disrupt that with the hand line improperly, if you stand up in it, something bad's gonna happen. Here at Glendale firefighters, we rotate through the flashover chamber once a year, and it refreshes our memory and our experiences with what it's like to see those thermal layering of gases, to understand the dynamics of fire, the fire science activity that's going on inside of a structure.